I wanted to elevate the whole orthodontic meeting landscape. And I look at it 8 years later, and I think most of the meetings out there that have survived have done so by changing in some way, shape, or form. And so I feel, number one, as if what I set out to do has been accomplished, right? You know, the teeth are straight, the bite is perfect, it's time to get the braces off. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of your 5-Minute Friday. I'm your host, Dr. Glenn Krieger, and today I'm going to confirm the rumors. It is in fact true that Orthopreneurs Summit 2025 is indeed the final Orthopreneurs Summit ever. Now, there's a couple of things you're probably saying, Glenn, why? Are you crazy? Why would you do this? Well, first of all, it's doing great. We're going to have over 1,000 people at this summit. Hopefully you're one of them. If you're not, sign up at opsummit2025.com. But number one, back in 2017, when I started Orthopreneurs Summit, the idea was hatched. I was at MKS. Now, some of you may remember MKS, one of the best summits that was out there, or one of the best ortho meetings that was out there. It was new, it was innovative, it did some great things. But for MKS, there never would have been an Orthopreneurs Summit. And I was at MKS, and the lectures were great. The food was horrible. There were no after-hour activities. But when it all ended, everybody from sort of this clique and this group ended up going to this bar, and everybody from this group and this clique went to that bar. And here I was alone, didn't know anybody, and literally was alone at a meeting. And there were a lot of other people I saw who were alone. And so I got in my car, drove home to Dallas. I was in Dallas already, drove home and went to bed or had dinner, whatever. And it bothered me. And I said, in a place where you're learning so much and learning so well, why would you be alone? And so I vowed I would create a meeting that nobody ever felt alone again. And if you've been to Summit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You may not know anybody. You will not feel alone at that meeting because everything's included, every drop of liquor, every drop of soda, of meals, of surprises, of after hours. Everybody's together all the time for that reason. And I wanted to innovate. I wanted to create things like marching bands or 108-foot LED screens or taking over nightclubs or any number of things that were different. And I want to have coordinated speaker agendas and white couches, right, in the front rows where people could just sit in white couches. And I think there might be bottle service this year for those of you who got the VIP passes. But my point in this is I wanted to elevate the whole orthodontic meeting landscape. And I look at it 8 years later, and I think most of the meetings out there that have survived have done so by changing in some way, shape, or form. And so I feel, number one, as if what I set out to do has been accomplished, right? You know, the teeth are straight, the bite is perfect, it's time to get the braces off. And it's okay to end something on the top, right? You don't have to wait for it to start to decline. Nobody in their right mind would ever say that Orthopreneurs Summit is in decline. Vegas, clinical speakers as well as management, 4 tracks per afternoon for how to live a better life, how to make more money. I would argue that this is going to be the best summit we've ever had and arguably the best attended. So yeah, we're leaving a lot of money on the table. That's okay. It's not getting stale, but I do feel like my ability to innovate is diminished a great deal. And I've heard from a lot of people out there the things that they like and that they don't like about meetings in general. And in my head right now are spinning many, many, many amazing ideas that will put the orthodontic meeting space on its heels again. But I am stuck because I can't do them in a huge meeting like Orthopreneurs Summit. Now you can make the argument, just keep going with Summit and make something small as well. But I'm okay walking away at this point. I'm okay saying, hey, you know what? It was a great run. Let's end it now. And being, quote unquote, the Barry Sanders, if you will, of the orthodontic meeting space and going out on top. And so there's going to be something else coming down the turnpike, I'm sure, in 2026. I can't tell you what it is exactly. What I can tell you is I have 5 pages of notes that I've scribbled talking about the things that if I could do it all over again and make the most impactful, best meeting that anybody could ever attend, what would it look like? And it's in that notebook I've got. And so, again, this is not a sad time. This is amazing. We set out and accomplished what we wanted. Now, we got to put this baby to bed. Orthopreneurs Summit will never be back. But before it goes to bed, let's throw out one hell of a party and have some amazing lectures that will end up helping you make more money, lower your stress, manage your team better, make a ton of friends, and make you feel really taken care of. And so go to opsummit2025.com to sign up now. If you've been to one before, you know what I'm talking about. If you've never been to one, this is your final opportunity. And trust me, you are not going to want to miss this meeting, both from what it can do for you and the fun it's going to be. Because every single doctor who goes to that meeting is going to come home with a competitive advantage, guaranteed. You want people in your neighborhood having that advantage and you don't want to be a part of it? Good for you. I'm not going to press you. Like I said, we're going to be jam-packed either way. If you want to go to opsummit2025.com. But yep, it's the last of its kind. And so it was good while it lasted. And let's go on and innovate something new. And by the way, this is a theme in my life, innovation. When something does what I want it to do, move on to the next thing. And you should be considering that in your own life if you can. It's scary, of course, to walk away from something that's proven, but it's fun to innovate. Much love to each and every one of you. Hope to see you at Orthopreneurs Summit in Vegas. And again, stay tuned. I think in the next 6 to 9 months, I'll come up with an idea that's going to really blow you away.